This video is sponsored by Single Point Solution. Single Point is pioneer in production and distribution of electric vehicles like electric bikes, electric scooters and three-wheelers. Single Point also provide consulting services to small F players.
Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmek Technologies and you are welcome to TopBrass. Today we have Sitesh Srivastava. As you know, he is as a radio personality. A part of this, he has a deep interest in corporate training. He had been training marketing and IT professionals, and he enjoys his career, his hobby too much, and I know that. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Good day, Kanchan. It's a nice, cloudy and good temperature in Bangalore and pleasant weather out here. And therefore, it's a great to talk to you again. And how have you been?
Yeah, I'm quite fine because weather is good and people are just little coming out, and so we are communicating. In this middle of this, I have heard demise of our dear President Pranabda, and it was kind of sad news which we Indians received, because he was 13th President of India and he had a career which spread over 5 decades. And the kind of impression he has left on Indian politics is immense, because his way of working is entirely different than those of contemporary which were there with him. And he remained a finance minister, he remained a defense minister, and you know that he started his career as a professor of political science in Kolkata. And then suddenly we heard about his demise. He is a Bharat Ratna recipient. So it was little sad to hear about his demise, which is a bad.
Yeah. Yes, Kanchan. I have summarized his passing on in terms of a great loss to the current Indian political setup, the vacuum that has been created by his passing away. One of the tallest political leaders that we have seen, and a leader who was one of the best persons which India did not have as a prime minister, is my reading about Pranab Mukherjee, or we fondly have called him Pranabda. And as you rightly said, 5 decades of a political career, it needs not only the energy, but also a belief in the democratic system of this country to be at the helm of affairs as a finance minister and a lot of other ministries that Pranab Mukherjee was part of since 1969, when our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi brought him to an upper house in the Indian parliamentary system. And he became almost number 2 man in Indira Gandhi's cabinet. With his wittiness, with his depth of knowledge, with his enthusiasm, with his empathy towards the policy matters of the country, he was known by his political friends and foes as a master in any subject in the policy matters. The great part about Pranab Mukherjee is that he was equally respected by his government as well as the opposition. So he was able to cut across the political spectrum, which helped our democracy in some of the very, very crucial times when we had a series of prime ministers between the legendary Congress party and the BJP. We had a string of 5-6 prime ministers in VP Singh, in Deve Gowda, in Chandrasekhar, and then of course Rajiv Gandhi. So they were very, very ably supported by Pranab Mukherjee. But my always feeling, a peculiar feeling about the Indian politics, and I don't want to call it a beauty, because some of the great leaders, great thinkers, visionaries could not get into the top job in the controlling power where they could have steered forward our country into a transformational age. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel that he is a leader which is way apart than those of leaders in Congress in his time, and he has a lot of intellect to really solve. He used to be a problem solving for most of the situation which was faced, especially by Indira Gandhi. And after the death of Indira Gandhi, there were some differences, and then he came out of the Congress for a small part of time, and then he made his own party, Rashtravadi parties, Samajwadi Party. But then again, I think he loved Congress too much, and he went back to the Congress. But the important part is he has a keen interest in economy of India, and he always, in fact, he has written many books on economy of India and the national building, national building books in his career. Apart of this, he also been nominated as the best finance minister of the world by Euromoney in 1984. So these kind of appreciation he has been given in his career, and I feel his demise will leave a lot of vacuum in even in current polity, because he is a person who can give advice to the current dispensation when required. He is always, in fact, I have seen few clipping of 2014 when first time Narendra Modi was elected and went to Rashtrapati Bhavan. The gesture of Pranab Mukherjee was very, very welcoming. And it doesn't, at that point of time, I was not able to find out that being in a congressman, I respected and welcomed Narendra Modi. At that point, whatever clipping I have seen, I found out this. So I think he has that quality to welcome the point of even opposition also.
Right, Kanchan, and more and more tributes have come in, and from the all walks of the political spectrum. You know, Kanchan, the facts are there for everyone to see in his political life of 5 decades. I noticed some of the very interesting personality traits of Pranab Mukherjee, which also reassures my belief in our strong democratic system. He, as you said, he had little differences after, with Rajiv Gandhi, after the passing of Indira Gandhi, where he assumed that he is the number 2 in the cabinet and therefore he should succeed. And that was not a very blatant sign of his coming, because before Pranab Mukherjee, we had a Congress leader called Mr. Gulzari Lal Nanda, who had assumed a prime minister's position in the gap after Pandit Nehru's death, and also after the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri. So that's where the little bit of differences of opinion they were observed in the Indian political life. And it is said that because of that, he was always, shunned out of this key position in the Indian politics. But despite this, he was never instrumental in blocking any prime minister, whether it was Rajiv Gandhi from his own Congress party or the opposition parties, and that is the hallmark. If you ask me today, it sounds very cliche that at a given point of time between, I think, in 1982-84, when he was finance minister, the Reserve Bank of Governor chairman was Manmohan Singh, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who used to report to Pranab Mukherjee. But if you see the turn of events, when Manmohan Singh became the Prime Minister, it was Pranab Mukherjee who was reporting to Manmohan Singh in the government. And both men have equal respect for each other, because they were not thinking in terms of who is reporting to whom, but they were seeing that their each other's strength is finally ultimately going to benefit our India, and therefore they stuck together. So in a way, I can always think the relationship between Pranab Mukherjee and Manmohan Singh specifically can be compared with what we had during Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel, and later we saw in the lives of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Alke Advani. So that is the hallmark of Indian political system, where when it comes to the core of running the country, politicians have come together, they have supported each other, they have supported the hopes and aspirations of the country, and they have steered forward of our nation. And we should be proud of our political system at the top level. And you would be surprised, Kanchan, that I have heard uh, many good things about our Indian political system outside India, but probably fail to see it while we see it from inside. What do you say?
There are many good things when we talk about Indian polity, because we choose our leader from our board, unlike in US, which is where we count on percentage. We directly choose our leader, and that is a very good democratic right every Indian is having. And I think everybody appreciate our freedom, our democracy. Part of this, I think Pranabda was a great democratic. He had a great democratic ideas. He believed in freedom, and we will miss him dearly. Uh, I think it's a great loss.
Definitely, Kanchan, we will miss him, and the country will miss him, the parliament will miss him, because as we see today, it is very, very rare to find such kind of leaders who have a backing of their own party as well as the opposition system to steer forward the country on a political matters, especially when it comes to the international relations. And therefore we need more and more leaders. I mean, opposition doesn't mean that you have to oppose everything of the government. The opposition also means that you have to stand with the government in those matters where the country is going through a critical phase. And very, very few leaders understand that. And Pranab Mukherjee was surely one of those leaders, and that is one of the reasons I believe he was awarded with Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of the country. And while he was president, he was completely away from the party where he grew up, and he was not seen as a president coming from just one party and working for only one party. And that's the reason you said he was very happy to give the oath to our new Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the relationship they shared, I believe that should be written in as a hallmark in our political books or political students. And that is something. He also broke the ranks with his own party where he grew up, when he went to RSS in Nagpur to deliver a lecture. So these are very, very rare political personality we are talking about. And I think the country as a whole is proud of Pranab Mukherjee and will always remain indebted to his political acumen and his political responsibility.
Like you said, you mentioned Parliament. He remained leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha. So I'm sure that parliamentarians will be missing him, like all of us will miss him. So it was a great loss for us. So I'll end today's program now. We'll meet again tomorrow with another topic. Remembering Pranabda.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kanchan. Have a great day.